Hello and welcome back to Liberal Breakdown. So, President Trump is back at it again, this time defending his massive new tariffs that have already caused the markets to nosedive. And he's doing it from Air Force One, casually talking about global trade like it's a reality show plot twist. Here's the short version. Trump says he doesn't want anything to go down, but markets already are, big time. The Dow was down over 1,300 points Sunday night, and it's not looking good for Monday either. Now, instead of acknowledging the impact, Trump basically shrugs it off and says, and I quote, "Sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, okay? But this medicine is more like giving chemo to someone with a cold, and it's not just hurting China or Europe, it's hurting us, American workers, families, and small businesses who are going to feel this in prices and layoffs."
Which is what it should be.
Is there a Trump put though? Is there pain in the market at some point? You're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think it's I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, and we have such a horrible. We have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring, it's already started because they put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out and our country will be solid and strong again.
He also pulled a classic Trump move, dodging any accountability by calling a reporter's question stupid, real presidential. And this whole thing about the U.S. losing $1.9 trillion on trade, that's not how trade deficits work. A trade deficit doesn't mean we're losing money. It means we're importing more than we export. That's not ideal, but it's not a one-way loss either. We get goods, jobs are still created, and economies benefit in complex ways. But Trump always frames it like it's a bar tab we forgot to pay. And now he's saying other countries are going to have to pay us a lot of money yearly just to talk to us? That's not diplomacy. That's ransom politics.
Europe has treated us, it's a little smaller, but they've treated us very, very badly. China has, but Europe has also. Europe has been very, very bad to us. Europe has taken our leaders for a ride. They don't take our cars. They don't take our food products. They don't take anything. And we take their cars, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BMW. You know, we take their millions of cars. They take no cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything. Europe's treated us very badly. We put a big tariff on Europe. They are coming to the table. They want to talk. But there's no talk unless they pay us a lot of money on a yearly basis. Number one for present, but also for past.
He also claims he talked to the biggest tech leaders in the world, but of course no names, just vibes. And even Elon Musk, who's been pretty cozy with Trump lately, has said we should be aiming for zero tariffs with Europe, but Trump isn't hearing it, because apparently Europe's been treating us very, very badly. Look, this isn't about being anti-America or anti-worker. It's about being smart. Tariffs aren't some magic wand you wave to bring jobs back. They're a blunt tool and used the wrong way. They spark trade wars and raise prices for everyone. You want to bring jobs back? Invest in workers, education, innovation, infrastructure. Don't just slap tariffs on everyone from Germany to penguins. Yes, that was actually brought up last week. Don't even get me started. This isn't strength. It's chaos. And everyday Americans are the ones stuck paying the price.
Global markets continue to feel the pain, with indices in Asia reeling on Monday as President Donald Trump's tariffs send shockwaves across the world. The White House now says more than 50 countries have contacted President Trump to try to negotiate deals. Tell me, how bad is it on the markets?
It's not looking great at all, Katie. It is a sea of red from Japan, South Korea to Australia, basically extending their losses for a third day. Also, the mainland Chinese, Hong Kong and Taiwanese markets, which were closed on Friday for a public holiday, starting to trade once again, but sharply lower. Investors are experiencing what they describe as an ugly Monday. No sectors are spared, but if we were to look at some of the worst affected shares, Asian car makers, of course, because of that 25% levy that Mr. Trump brought in on all imported cars into the United States. Also, banking banking shares are hit hard. Japanese banking shares are hit hard because of economists now thinking that the Bank of Japan, the country's central bank, probably unlikely to raise interest rates.
These Asian markets aren't just over there, they're directly tied to us. When they fall, we fall. Global trade is connected. It's not some zero-sum game. We export to Asia, we import from Asia, American companies operate in Asia. You crash their economies, you hurt ours. And Trump just shrugs it off like it's no big deal. Like, yeah, sometimes you have to take medicine. What he's really saying is, you take the medicine, while he gets to keep pretending he's tough on trade. But what's tough about tanking your own stock market? What's strong about risking a recession that economists are now saying is up to 60% likely? Even Wall Street, which usually loves Republicans, is freaking out. You know it's bad when Goldman Sachs is warning about a crash and Bill Ackman is calling this a mistake. Countries like China are already hitting back. They just announced a 34% tariff on U.S. imports. That means American farmers, manufacturers, and workers are the ones who are going to feel this, not the elites, not the billionaires. And Trump's excuse? That Europe and Asia made a fortune off of us. That they treated us badly, like it's high school drama. This isn't about being fair, this is about ego. Look, if you want to fix global trade, do it smartly. Build better deals. Invest in American workers. Push innovation. But launching a trade war that sends Asian markets into freefall? That's not strategy. That's just chaos. This is a warning sign. The economy doesn't crash all at once. It tips slowly. And right now, it just tipped in Asia.
After Liberation Day, look at this complete wipeout. And you mentioned, Kate, that we are starting to hear from some notable billionaires speaking out. Bill Ackman, who endorsed Trump and has been a very outspoken supporter of elements of the Trump agenda. He is basically pleading with the president to change course. He put out this tweet last night. He said that the president...
It was a lengthy statement, yes.
It was. Most of his are. But he said that the president has an opportunity on Monday to call a timeout and have the time to execute on fixing an unfair tariff system. He said, alternatively, we are heading for a self-induced economic nuclear winter, and we should start hunkering down. And Kate, we may find out in the next few hours whether or not the president is going to heed these calls.
You know it's getting serious when even Trump's own billionaire buddies are like, bro, this is too much. So get this, Bill Ackman, a major hedge fund guy and someone who's actually supported Trump in the past, just came out and said Trump's tariff plan could cause an economic nuclear winter. Like, that's the phrase he used. And if you're wondering what that means, it's exactly what it sounds like. Total economic disaster. Ackman's not some left-wing alarmist. This is a guy who lives in the world of Wall Street. He's made billions off understanding how markets work. And right now, he's looking at Trump's plan to throw tariffs at every country that exports to the U.S. And he's basically begging for a 90-day pause. He's saying, let's take a breath before we send the economy off a cliff. And here's the wild part. He's not just worried about the rich. He actually said this is going to hurt working-class people the most. You know, the people Trump says he's fighting for. Tariffs raise prices. That's just how it works. Companies pay more to import stuff, and then you pay more at the store. Inflation, layoffs, a possible recession. That's what's coming if this doesn't stop. Ackman even said, this is not what we voted for. He's not alone. Businesses around the world are pulling back. Markets are tanking, especially in Asia. And still, Trump is like, don't worry, this will be an economic revolution. It's not. It's reckless. Look, fixing trade imbalances? Fine. Go negotiate smarter deals. But launching a tariff war and pretending that's good for everyday Americans? That's a fantasy. Even billionaires are starting to see it. When the people who usually profit off chaos are now sounding the alarm, maybe we should all listen. Because if this economic nuclear winter hits, it won't be hedge fund guys like Bill Ackman who suffer. It'll be working families across this country. That's all I want to say. I wish you the best and see you at the next one.